Wow, what an interesting video you did. And it got me thinking about my generation. I'm in the same generation as you. Um, I was born in 1968 as well. In fact, I was born 7 months after Martin Luther King was shot. And I was thinking back to my childhood and some of the things that stand out for me. Schoolhouse Rock stands out for me. Conjunction junction, what's your function? Remember that? I mean, I know the preamble because of Schoolhouse Rock. How many kids today can say, "Oh yeah, I've memorized the preamble"? Well, we did because we heard it every Saturday morning. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union. um, when I was a kid, the Vietnam War was in full swing, and my dad got drafted. But he chose to go into the National Guard. And as a result, he got caught up in all the race riots that were going on at that time. And I remember my dad talking about how he was on the Capitol steps being, holding guard. He had his gun up, and there was a bayonet at the end, and a big swarm of people rushed the Capitol. I'm talking about the Wisconsin Capitol, not the Capitol in Washington, over in Madison. A big swarm of people rushed up, and he was holding up his gun, and the people pushed the people into my dad's bayonet. And my dad actually stabbed a guy. And that was something that stuck with him his whole life. I mean, he didn't know what happened to the guy. He didn't know if the guy lived. He didn't know if the guy died. And that was something that haunted him his whole life. Going into my teenage years, because I don't remember a lot from my childhood. I don't know why, but it's like a lot of it is missing, and I'm not sure why that is. But I do remember high school, and I graduated in 1986, and in that year, several interesting things happened. Well, first of all, the Space Shuttle Challenger blew up. And I was on the AV crew, and I happened to be in the AV room watching it live when that happened. So I saw it blow up, and I knew right away what happened. Everyone else around me is like, "What's going on? What's going on?" I'm like, "It blew up!" That was tough. Also in the 80s, Ronald Reagan signed an act that allowed people who were in mental institutions to sign themselves out if they wanted to. And I mean, that on the surface sounds good, because I know there were people in mental institutions that weren't supposed to be there. There were a lot of homosexuals in mental institutions that shouldn't have been there. But there was also a lot of people in there that were supposed to be there, that needed help, who are now signing themselves out and ended up being homeless. And my grandfather, for 30 years, was a pastor, and he preached at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission. And the clientele at the Milwaukee Rescue Mission changed dramatically from people who were down on their luck or who had dropped out of society to people who were mentally unstable and really needed some help. And it got to be so bad that my grandpa had to retire because he just was not trained to help these people, and he knew it. 1986 is also the year that Oprah Winfrey started her show Oprah, which is kind of interesting. Nintendo came out with its first Nintendo unit. Halley's Comet came back. So I got to see Halley's Comet, and I feel pretty fortunate about that. And during the 80s, I was a huge Duran Duran fan. I wanted to be Duran Duran. I did. I didn't care which one of them I was. I just wanted to be like them, with their uber glam look, Oh, I love those guys. I still love them. I still buy their albums because they're wonderful. So Hey, thanks for posting this. This was a great video, and it's kind of a great subject to talk about because I'd like to hear what other people's generations, what was important to them. So, take care and thank you.